Good morning, everybody. It's Michael White, and here's my co-host.
Anthemophitis. Good morning to you all.
Hopefully you guys are having a lovely Friday. Today we're here to talk to you about a very important question. But before we get started, guys, please like, share, and subscribe to content. I went live last night on Instagram, and we're actually going to start doing that probably as of this Saturday for 15 minutes. Just going
Yeah,
live on Instagram and just kind of reviewing stuff we talked over the week, giving you some nuggets. So we're really just here to help you guys, as I said, date better. Like, again, me personally, I don't like the label of coach. I like to open up the conversation and you take something away from it. So I usually just share my experiences and what it is I've learned to help other people.
ditto, as they say, Michael. The same, absolutely the same. Yeah, we're just trying to share our experiences, what we've done wrong, and what we know doesn't work, and what we know does work. And I think it's the greatest conversations we can have because we're real people talking about real situations, real experiences that we've had. And for more than one person to experience something, it means it literally has a meaning behind it, and it is have a pattern, don't they, Michael? They have a pattern behind them, and so many things you could point out in a relationship that you can say, well, if this is happening, then you know that it means X, Y, and Z. So yeah, it's always a great conversation. And please do like and share. Please like and share our content. We do love doing this,
Yeah,
and we
like
love
we
having
provide the
conversations.
platforms for you guys to do it. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're even on Twitch, we're on like everything. Like us on YouTube, subscribe, help us grow this channel, help us get the information out there. So I'm going to play the promo video and then we are going to get started. Okay, guys, let's get started in today's juicy question. Is the question, what do you bring to the table, offensive?
There you go. Takes a bit of time.
Yeah.
Is it offensive? What do you think, Michael?
No, I just think it could be worded better.
Yeah, I agree with that because I think by saying it in with those particular words, it can actually get someone's back up to say, well, what do you mean? What do I bring to the table? And I think a lot of people will respond with the outer things that they have rather than the inner emotional intelligence in that sense.
To me, it's more of a business question, though. Like, if I'm going to do business with somebody, that would be a question that I would ask them in business. That would be a that would be a question I would ask them in business.
Mm.
Yeah, sorry, she just dropped out and now she's back, guys. Um, that would be a business question I would ask. Because if I'm in the dating context, how I would ask it is, what value do you think we could bring to each other's lives?
Mm.
You see, there's a big difference because, again, when you are dating somebody, you're looking to add to their life. You're looking to make their life easier, both ways.
Yeah.
So, because I ran a poll on this, and some people were like, I find it very offensive. And I think the reason why some people find it offensive, it's because now when you're dating this individual and you say, hey, what do you bring to the table? You're saying, well, hey, I'm not going to date you unless there's some type of value. You see what I'm saying? And then some people don't like to hear that because now it holds them accountable to say, hey, you can't just show up and just be pretty. You got to add something.
Yeah, and the way it's worded is, what do you bring to the table? Like you said, I suppose it can be quite offensive, or it can get somebody's back up because straight away you're like, what do you mean? What do I bring to the table? I bring me. Like, so I suppose that's something that someone would respond. I don't think I've ever had that question asked to me to be
Me
able
is
to
not enough.
know exactly. But I'm assuming here that that's what somebody would
they do,
respond.
they
Yeah.
do. They'll say me, and it's like, me
Well,
what?
what's me? Yeah,
Like
what's me?
what is me?
Yeah, exactly. I think you need to go, but the way you worded it, I think, is such it's such a it's a more, it sounds and comes out in such a more easy way, and somebody, it's easy on the ears to hear that. What value do you bring? And that's different. That's a different thing that you're saying altogether, and that can make someone stop and think about it. But when what you bring into the table is, I suppose, a business thing, isn't it? Like what you bring to the
Well,
table.
yeah, because if we're
What
gonna
are you
grow a
bringing to this
business here,
business?
yeah, if we're gonna grow a business here, I need to know what value you bring to the table as an individual for us to grow this business.
Yes,
Now,
absolutely.
in the dating context, the reason why I'm saying what value do you think we could add to each other's lives?
That's
Because think
different.
about it. Once you get into a relationship with someone, it's not about you and it's not about them. It's a us thing.
Yeah, completely. It's what it's
So
bouncing off of one another, isn't it? How can we, what values do we bring to one another? How can we make our lives better together? What
there
difference is
you
it going to
go.
make by us walking? And I think it's like looking forward in to a certain degree to say, well, let's look forward in 3-4 weeks time. What does that look like us together? What are we going to be doing? Like some people's vision of a relationship or being with someone is just coming home from going to work all day, coming home and just lying on the sofa and watching TV. And that's what that would look like for them. And maybe they're a perfect match in that sense. No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, there's anything right with that. That's one person's way. Then you've got somebody else who will say, well, maybe I'm an entrepreneur and I like to travel and I like to, and I'm up until 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning working. So the other person is fit into that, because otherwise there will be problems, because they're not aligning with one another's ways and values. So if you look at 3-4 weeks down the line and one's in 9 to 5 and one's and finishing work and wanting to come home and lie on the sofa, and the other one is working till 3-4 in the morning creating content, then they're not going to be waking up the same time as the person that goes to 9 to 5, or they're not going to be having the same structure of their day. So they're not going to be able to up the same times or do the same things. So I think you've got to really find that alignment within one another and understand what each person's bringing to the table in that sense. Like what does your life look like? What's your life going to look like when we're together?
well, you know what? For you guys, we're actually gonna break it down and actually give you guys a real life example. Hopefully, you guys are okay with that. So, what I mean by that is Anthea's going to give the woman's version and I'm going to give the man's version. So if I am dealing with a female and I ask the question, what do you think we could bring to each other's lives? And she replies and says, well, hey, what is it you need? I'm going to tell her I need peace. I need agreeableness. I need someone that's non-combative. I need someone that's going to trust my lead. I need someone that's understanding. I need someone that's affectionate. And I need someone that's going to be able to give me sexual access. So what that means is they're not going to be prude about things like, we have a healthy sex life or like a healthy intimacy life, and those type of things. So I'm going to say that's what for me, like if they ask and I ask the question saying, hey, what is it? Not that what you bring to the table, and that's why I'm giving you guys contacts, is what value can we add to each other, and that's the value that I would need for me to function in that relationship. So you can give the women's version.
Yeah, and I think before I go into that, I think you're very right. Like I think, as I said at the beginning, it's very much to do with the inner stuff, not the outer. Not what are you bringing? Are you bringing a hammer and a spade to the table? It's more what are you bringing from the inner. So if I'm saying to a guy, he's asking me, "What do you need?" and I need you to be emotionally available. I need you to take the lead. I need you to be I suppose I need you to be open and be able to communicate what's happening, what you're about. I suppose I need them to be forward thinking massively.
Well,
And
can I step in and kind of, I'll give you a rough draft and you can kind of say yes or no. You need a man that's stoic, so a man that knows how to lead and is
yeah,
able to give you
absolutely.
direction. He knows how to be masculine, and I'm not talking about beating his chest like King Kong, but I meant
No,
like
no.
he knows how to get things done. He knows how to handle himself. When situations come, he doesn't run, he handles them. So you need a man that's number one, he knows how to take charge. Number two, he's masculine. Number three, he's a great provider. He knows how to provide. Be able to take you on dates or scaling from places where he's able to,
Takes the
you know,
lead in that sense.
well, yeah, it takes the lead like on dates or just traveling or
Absolutely.
whatever. Number one, number three, sorry, he's very humble. You're not going to date
Mm,
a rude man. He's very compassionate, but he also knows how to also correct behavior.
mm. And
So
again, I think that all comes into taking the lead. I think it's, for me, it's so important that a man turns up as a man, somebody who does provide, somebody who does take that lead. Like you said, there's nothing better than a man saying to you, okay, this is booked, we're going away, or the table's booked this evening. I think that stands, and I think men love that also. They love to be that provider. I think they like to stand in that masculine energy as the
but you
man.
have to let him. That's the
Yeah,
thing, right? You have
absolutely.
to let him. A lot of times in those situations, the woman doesn't let him do that.
No.
You
I
know what
just
I
had a
mean?
conversation the other day with a female actually who was saying she struggles with allowing her man to take the lead
See?
because she says, she likes to wear the trousers in that sense.
Mm-mm.
And I said, so it's going to come to a point where it clashes because he is a man. You have to allow him to be a man, and you have to allow yourself to be the feminine woman. And she said, he does say that to her. He does say, you need to just allow me to take the lead. and
Maybe
and
we need to talk about that on for next week.
yeah, because I think a lot of the time women have a fear of, if they allow the man to do all of this and they don't build their own, that if something happens, they're left with like,
Nothing.
with literally nothing. Which I still think that um, even though you're bringing these things to the table, I think a woman should still build her own, regardless. I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
answer that
that
question when you're done, but go ahead.
I don't think it should affect the relationship if you're still doing what you need to do and building who you are and what you're about. I think that should enhance the relationship because of the values you're both bringing to the table again, because you are both feeling and you both have a vision, and you've got an end goal for your life in that sense. Not an end goal, but you've got a goal, like you've got intentions in your life. So when you're living life intentionally to do things, then there's different values that get dropped within that, if that makes sense.
It does. I'm gonna answer your question about what you said about is she afraid to be left with nothing.
Mm,
Um, that's why she doesn't want to give up control or follow his leadership.
mm,
It has nothing to do um, with her being left with nothing.
mm,
It has to do with her being scared to be fully vulnerable, because when a woman's fully vulnerable, she feels like naked, and I'm saying in the sense of naked emotionally, where this guy can like do things that would affect her mood or
mm.
like affect like how she operates. And a lot of women are afraid to fall into that, um because they're like, what if I fall into that and the dude's trash?
Well, I suppose that's where
And
vetting comes in, doesn't it?
exactly. And the thing is, you should never be afraid to fall into a space where you can fully trust a man's leadership or fully trust him as a man. But that's why you have to make sure that you do it with the right man. That's what I'm trying
Mm.
to say, because you'll have some women saying, oh my God, I'm falling for this guy. And, I don't know why he's making me feel this way, and just da 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 da. Or like he can do things that make her feel certain things. It's because she's really afraid to feel fully vulnerable with that man. But I'm here to openly tell you that if you want the love that you desire, like a lot of women are saying, oh, I want like that love and the love and the love. If you fully want that type of love, you have to fully be able to surrender to it.
Absolutely.
If you're struggling to surrender to it, you're never going to get that type of love.
Yeah, you've got to be vulnerable. You've got to be open. You've
You
got to
got to
allow yourself.
surrender.
Yeah, you do have to surrender. You're very right. And I suppose it is become a huge problem where women really do hold back
Well, they're
because they're so
afraid to
frightened. Yeah,
because they've either been cheated on, childhood
treated
traumas,
badly.
anything like that sense. They're afraid because they've made a bad choice, and that bad choice can affect them for life. Because what if they're like, what if I choose bad again? I don't want to feel like that again.
Yeah, but I suppose that's where you have to learn to recognize your own.
Yeah, you have to
I
learn to be
think.
able to recognize your emotions. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You really do. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in that rut. You're never going to have the full fulfillment of love. And I think I think one thing in this world, what we all deserve to have is to feel and know what it feels like to be in, like truly have love in your life and really truly be treated with pure respect to one another and on a long-term basis,
But you
not
can
just
only
once or
get that
twice.
but you can only get that if you surrender. It's the same thing with the man. He can
Yeah.
only get that type of love from a woman if he fully surrenders for it. But that's the thing. Men surrender in a different way than females do. You see, everything that I described is on the female narrative. How men surrender is by putting our lives on the line for you guys. That's how
Mm.
we surrender because we're not out here dying for every woman. But
No,
what happens is if you're my
so true.
woman, that is the biggest form of surrender. I am
Yeah,
going
that's
to
so
protect
true.
you. I am going to take care of you. When we're out, you are taken care of. You don't need to worry about that. Dinners, dates, protecting you, like putting my life on the line so you can live. That's how
Yeah,
we surrender.
yeah. It's putting that woman in front of you, isn't it? In that sense, and really looking after her.
That's it.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. And I think so many women of today are, putting having to put maybe their parents or so they just learn how to put everyone else before them, and they find it very difficult to actually stand back and have that vulnerability to be able to be open to say, okay, I surrender to you in the sense of I'm going to be vulnerable and I allow you to take that lead. And I
Mhm.
allow you to take care of me. I allow you to, come and pick me up and take me out, or having those open, long conversations and be able to go deep with somebody and really have that communication without giving jip in return. And I mean, when I say jip, I mean like as in giving nagging behind it. Like you said, a man wants peace. And I think if we can really find out what men actually want and actually give that, then it would become better long lasting relationships because we're hearing what the man wants and the man's hearing what the woman wants and we're coming together. But I think in this day and age, it's a whole new ball game. I don't even like, it's so
It's a
different
tug of
now.
war. It's
It
give
is
me
a
what
tug of
I
war.
want,
Yeah,
and then I'll give you what you want. It's a tug of
yeah,
war. And just instead of saying, we're not going to play tug of war, what is it you want? What is it I want? And putting it together.
yeah, yeah, and growing together in that
That's what
sense.
it comes down to is putting it together. Just like when you bake a cake, you put the ingredients together. Not
Yeah,
one ingredient is saying, well, no, it has to be my way.
yeah,
And then the other ingredients is like, no, I need to go first. No,
yeah.
it's
The egg
how
saying to
can
the
we
other egg, I'll get cracked first. No, 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 no.
yeah,
I'm going to get cracked first.
yeah, exactly. It's how can we put it together.
Together.
So that's
Yeah,
why I'm saying
absolutely.
that even in the question of what do you bring to the table or what value can we add to each other, it's always being, and again I'll speak as a man, it's being able to ask the woman is, can you surrender? Have you healed? Have you got past a lot of your traumas? Can you surrender? Is surrendering going to be a problem?
And a woman to a man is, can you take the lead? You know,
Exactly. See,
yeah.
exactly. One of the biggest things that I've made this mistake too is women will always see if your words follow your actions. If they don't,
Oh goodness, and if they don't, you're gone. And I've said it
you
before.
are taking. You know what though? Sometimes it's difficult because as a man, I'll admit I've taken some L's in that area. But she's always looking to see if you're a man of your word, because if you're not, it threatens the number one thing that she needs, which is security.
Security, yeah. Yeah. And a woman won't stick around. And it's not that women are thinking, oh, you know, I've got so many options and I can do what I want. I don't think it's that. It's more that we know, like, there's people, we know what we deserve. So I know I've spoken of this before in a previous relationship where things were being said and all the words sounded, oh, fantastic. But the actions had nothing to do with the words. Now, how long am I going to really? And I don't care who that is. It doesn't matter if you're a friend, if you're a family member. Like, I'm going to turn away. I'm going to walk the other way because I don't like my values sit where if someone's going to say they're going to do something, I would expect them to follow up on what they say they're going to do, regardless. So that also sits within a relationship. So if my man's saying to me, I don't know, for example, I'm trying to think of something now. I'm booking a holiday next week, and and just say he starts talking about it and all the places we're going to go to and blah blah. And then next week comes, and I say, "Oh, how are we getting on with that holiday?" Oh, I haven't done it yet. Oh, I had to do this, this, and this. I will do it. I will do it. And then continues to talk to me about what the holiday is going to be like, but never actually books that holiday. Then we're going on empty words. We're just kind of, to me, it's like I'm looking at that, say, well, if this is how you do one thing, this is how you do everything. So if that's what you're saying to me and you're not following with action, then how can I look forward and see us as a couple? It's going to look like a shambles because everything you say you don't actually do. So it's going to cause frustration at some point. You know, it's like if I said, "Oh, cook us a meal tonight," and he comes home and there's no meal on the table, and he says, "But you said you're going to cook." Oh, I changed my mind. Well, why did you say it in the first place? You know, I think our words can be so cheap. People just use these words to get somebody's attention, but to follow with the action stands a strong human being, you know. And I think it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Follow the actions with what you say.
That I can agree with. That I can agree with. I actually want to rewind it back to something that you said. You talked about getting what you deserve. Can you expand on that a little more?
Well, I think when I say get what I deserve, I think it's more to do with I deserve to be treated well. Or everyone, not just me, everyone deserves to be treated well, deserves to be treated with respect. So if somebody's showing up and they're disrespecting, whether it's me or anybody, if I'm seeing somebody being disrespected, then I don't agree with that. So I think the deservability is to do with the way you're being treated
In a relationship, right?
in a relationship or in any relationship, whether it's a business relationship, a sexual or a romantic or a family, however it is. I think everyone deserves, and it should just be a basic in this world, that we all treat each other with respect and love. And if you can't do that, then don't be around people, you know.
I want to add a caveat in there. And again, you might hate me for it, but again, I'll let you finish.
No, go on.
What I was going to say is nobody cares about what you deserve. It's what are you willing to give to get what you deserve. That's how
Yeah,
I've
but
always viewed it.
yeah,
Because
I
you
think
could sit around here and say, well, I deserve this. No, it's what are you willing to give to get it?
well, yeah, I suppose. But if everybody's giving respect
Mm.
and love, then you're going to get that in return. If
Oh,
someone's showing
yeah.
up, I think that's what I'm saying. It's
Mm.
deservability in that sense is to every single human being on this planet. Like it's a natural thing that we should all have that love and respect for one another. And
Mhm.
because you're giving that, if you're not giving that, then sorry, but you're not going to get that in return,
But you
even
see,
if you
when
think you
somebody
deserve
starts a
it.
statement off with "I deserve," with not even saying I'm willing to give to get what I deserve, now it sounds selfish.
Okay, yeah. No, I
You
hear
see what
that.
I'm
I hear
saying?
that.
Like
I
when they just say,
absolutely hear that.
like, let's say you go on a date with a guy, and I'll give like a thing, right? You go on a date with this guy, you like him, he's cool, and he sits there, and you ask him, hey, like, what do you think, um, like, what is it you can give to us as a couple, right? And he sits there and just says to you, I deserve this, without even reciprocating, say, yes, I want this, and this, but I'm willing to give this, and this.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
You see how it sounds better instead of him just saying, well, I want this, and this.
And
You're going to
again,
sit
though,
there and be like,
Michael, if he's saying I want this, and this, and I'm willing to give this, and this, and his actions are showing
mm,
completely it, then again,
mm.
words don't mean nothing.
No, but I meant like even in the context, like he has to be willing to tell you, like, yes, words mean nothing, but he also has to be able to verbalize what he is willing to give you instead of
Yeah.
just him demanding this is what I deserve.
Oh, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? He has to be able to verbalize it as well to say, well, hey, like, you know, you're going to get peace from me, you're going to get leadership and all those things, and then follow through with the action.
Yeah, then follow through with the
Yeah,
action. But
exactly.
if he's sitting at the table and he's saying, look, I want peace, and then he calls a waitress and starts being rude towards the waitress, then that doesn't align with his words. So I think, you have to act out what you're saying too at the end of the day, no matter what. But I think this is where many people fall short. They will say, and you're very right to turn around and say, I deserve. But my point of the whole thing was, it's not me personally, I deserve respect. No,
Mm.
because if I'm not giving respect, why should I get respect? But I think in general, if this world was to turn up, the humans on this world was to turn up with love and respect in general, everyone would live um would live in a more peaceful world. Do you know what I
Yeah, the
mean?
reason why I said that is just because I don't like demanding people personally. I don't, without context of like, yes, you're allowed to have what you want, but what are you willing to give to get what
Yeah,
you want? You see what I'm
absolutely.
saying? Like for me, that's
Absolutely.
how
No, I
it's
agree
always
with
worked.
that. Oh, I
Like
totally agree with that.
because I don't like people like that, and I'm not like specifically saying like, oh, I hate them, but I'm just saying I don't like people with those type of behaviors because you're sitting there saying, well, I demand this, and this. Okay, but what are you willing to give to get what you want? It's just that's how the world works.
Mm. No, I
Um,
agree with that, Michael.
you know what I mean? It's just like one thing that really, and again, this is gonna be one of those interesting podcasts. I don't like women that say, "Well, I have no problem getting a guy," and you're talking to me. Oh, I have no problem getting other men. Okay, then go be with them then.
Yeah.
Like
No, no,
I don't
yeah.
like those brag things. I don't like it when people brag about things like, yeah, if I'm dating someone, I'll give them context of my past relationship, but I won't brag and be like, well, you know, I have no problem getting other females, just so you know. It's like why are you telling me this? Like I don't care. Like if you
So
have no
true.
problem getting other people, then go be with them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just one of my irks that I don't like. As soon as I hear a woman say, "Well, you know, I have no problem," I'm like automatically turned off. Like I'm just like, yeah, it no doesn't work
I
for me.
think, as you saying that, I was just thinking, if I meet a man and he says, oh, I've got loads of female friends and I go out with them all the time and I wouldn't be willing to give up my female friends, I think that would be something that I'd be like, nah, it's not, I'm not going there. Because otherwise, it's
Okay,
starting off, yeah,
okay. You see, this does tie into um you know, what do you bring to the table? It's interesting. Words have power and you have to be careful what you say. So the reason why I'm saying that is, you know how you just said, are you willing to give up your female friends? Is that what you said correctly, right?
no, they said no, him saying, I'm just in general saying I would never be willing to give
Yeah.
up my female
Okay.
friends.
So he tells you that he's like, but again, in the context of he's not just going to randomly say, I'm not willing to give them up. Something would have to come up for him to say it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, let's just say you said, hey, I'm uncomfortable being dating a guy that has a lot of female friends, right? And then he says, well, I'm not willing to give them up. That's dialogue, right?
Yeah.
What people have to understand is, again, I'm gonna make this very clear, and I honestly hope that somebody clips it or maybe will clip it. Something. When you're dating somebody and somebody puts certain, let's say, boundaries, as Anthea said, I'm not willing to date a guy that
It's not willing
has a
to
lot
give
of
up
female
anything.
friends.
Yeah.
When it comes to women's preferences, they're allowed to voice theirs. But if a man was to say, well, I don't want my girl hanging around with other dudes, you're controlling. I'm going to say it on both ends here. It's not controlling, it's protecting the relationship. Because one thing I will say this as a man, when you're comfortable in your skin, is this: you're not controlling. All you tell is the woman this: you can do what you want to do. I'm not telling you what you can do. All I'm telling you is that's not something I deal with. So if you
Right.
want to be with me, that's not something I function with. If you don't want to be with me, go have that. Oh,
Yep.
you're controlling. No, I'm not.
No,
It's just not something I want.
absolutely.
So we need to stop
Absolutely.
shaming people for their preferences and stop throwing out words and saying, "Well, you're controlling, you're manipulative, you're this, you're that." No, they're flat out telling you from a place of confidence and comfortability that that's not something they entertain.
And it's so true. There's no reason whatsoever, especially when we're speaking about what you bring to the table in that sense. Like if somebody says, well, I bring lots of females with the relationship, that's what comes with me. Well, then I know from the beginning that that's not something that I want, and that's not because I don't like you or because I think there's no judgment behind it. It's just that's not what I'm willing to accept in my relationship. This is quite straightforward, really.
Exactly. And you shouldn't be shamed for that. You
No.
shouldn't be told like, "Oh, you know what I mean? Like no, it's just that's not something that I deal with."
Yeah. No, and I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that.
So that to me it's just like I can't handle that. But anyways, guys, we always said we were going to keep the Friday one short. Hopefully you took something away from it, and we will see you guys on Saturday for 15
Yeah.
minutes.
That's
Remember,
tomorrow, right?
yeah,
Well,
that's
I hope you
tomorrow.
guys have enjoyed this one. And again, please do like, share, yeah, and comment below. Let us know your thoughts on what we're speaking about, what the conversation has been about, which is bringing. I've just forgotten how it was even worded. Um, go on, Michael. My mind's just gone blank.
Well, just
Bring it to
hopefully
the table.
just hopefully you took something away from the conversation. As I said, words mean something, and how you phrase your words is very important. Again, some people are just going to flat out say, "What do you bring to the table?"
Yeah,
Some people are going to say, "If we were to date, what value would you add to us?"
yeah, absolutely.
So again, just pay attention to context, dialogue, and understand what's being told to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Yep,
so we will
guys.
catch you guys tomorrow. Um, we'll catch you guys tomorrow, and we'll let you know on the times as well.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.